Yet the drought is ongoing across the region, and you can really see why when you look at the year overall. Look how many drier than normal months we've had so far this year. Only a couple months have been above normal rainfall, so we were barely catching up through the summer. And then this fall, it's been extremely dry. It was 38 days without measurable rain here at BWI, and so this broke the previous record in 1963 when we went 32 days straight without rain. So we have finally ended this dry streak. But we're still far behind the normal rainfall for the year, especially since the beginning of September. We're still almost 7 inches behind normal rain, and then for the year, we're about 7 inches behind normal rainfall.
The drought had effects on Christmas trees. Still, people were able to find what they want here at Frosty Tree Farms.
Paul Stifler says Frosty Tree Farm, like many others, had some rough times this year because of both rain and the lack of it.
It rained for like 12 days straight, and trees need to dry out. And certain trees, like fir trees in particular, if their roots set in the water more than 24 hours, especially like a Fraser fir or a concolor fir or a Canaan fir, they're pretty much dead at that time. And it's not too far behind them is the Douglas fir. They don't like wet feet either. So we had that issue.
Then came the drought.
Fortunately, I can irrigate about 75% of my field pretty easy here. And so that actually helped maintain some. However, we planted some seedlings here in the fall, and I noticed we lost quite a few of them because of the drought.
Epidemic that strikes at our communities, our neighbors, and even our children.
It's literally killing people and destroying people's lives.
More than 1,600 Maryland residents buried in just the last year.
It's just so much more potent and so much more addictive.
All this week, 11 News investigates how hospitals, politicians, and advocates are responding to chronic pain, Maryland's opioid crisis.
It was an arrest that saved Bree Bain's life. But the story starts when she was just 17.
I ended up in Southwest Baltimore, living on the streets, prostitution, whatever I could do to get high.
Bain signed over custody of her 2 children to her grandmother while she alternated between stints in Baltimore City and County Jail. She credits one of those arrests with saving her life.
Today was the first time in my life that I felt peace, that I was going to be okay, because I was going to die out there if I didn't get help.
Kurt Schmoke was prosecuting drug crimes as the city's state's attorney.
Try to treat it as a public health problem, and you'll have a positive impact on public health and a positive impact on your crime situation.
And then took a different approach when he became mayor in 1988.
What I was trying to do was to say that there should be a war on drugs, but it ought to be a public health war rather than a criminal justice war.
At the time, revolutionary.
Yeah, I knew it at the time, and if you weren't tough on drugs or appear tough on drugs, that you weren't going to go anywhere politically.
Decades later, he says it's gratifying to see how far society's views have progressed. But with state data showing that last year, city overdose deaths involving opioids hit nearly 1,000. Schmoke says the public health war he began advocating for back in 1988 is falling short.
I mean, we're creating miracles here every day.
If ever there were a region that needed miracles, it is this one, the so-called Heroin Highway, the high-intensity drug trafficking area between highways 81 and 70. In Washington County, the number of overdose deaths from opioids spiked 62% in 2018. And 2 years later, Western Maryland suffered the largest percent increase of these fatal overdoses in the whole state.
Everyone knew someone or had a family member or knew a family that was dealing with this.
Sterling is helping to lead an aggressive approach to turning the tide, reaching people on drugs tucked away in wooded areas, and calling upon those in recovery to educate residents about the life-saving antidote Narcan.
Joe Duncan remembers the moment well.
I was 15 years old when I first put a needle in my arm on Christmas Day, 1978.
By age 18, he was addicted and in prison. This is Joe the night he got out. He had been locked up for 40 years and 9 months.
I was actually clean for 4 years in prison. And when I got out, The first night I started drinking and smoking weed, and it just escalated.
He turned to harder street drugs and realized the drug scene had changed.
Did that scare you at all?
Yeah, because, you know, people were dying around me.
When a person purchases an illegal drug on the street, they're playing Russian roulette. They do not know what they're taking.
Dr. Eric Wish has been a drug use researcher here at the University of Maryland College Park for 32 years.
And right now I'm running the Emergency Department Drug Surveillance Program, which is a unique program.
Here's how it works. When someone is experiencing an overdose, they go to the ER and they give a urine sample. The hospital's able to check for 10 or 12 different drugs. But EDS is able to further analyze that data. But that's just part of the project.
Hospitals also send their urine samples to EDS for retesting because EDS can check for up to 500 different drugs.
So we're able to tell the hospitals what they're missing.
One thing they were missing, fentanyl.
Operators say it's a place where lives are saved.
It's a health intervention. I mean, literally, it's what it is.
A judgment-free zone where lives are changed.
They helped me get my resume. They helped me with service, put a few dollars in my pocket. They fed me 3 times a day.
On Point NYC, a nonprofit, operates 2 facilities in New York City that provides a safe place to shoot up, smoke crack, or snort. They are funded through the New York Health Department, federal grants and donations.
What does On Point do for you?
Gives you safe space, gives you people that are actually going to help you. It's better than being on the street where you can just do too much or do something you don't know and just pass out and get everything stolen from you.
They call the drug ingestion area the OPC. Everyone who works in this section has a medical background.
Fentanyl.
They test for a variety of substances, often mixed with illicit drugs that can trigger an overdose. They call this a buffet tray. It's full of sterile material that can be used to help ingest a variety of drugs. Mike says he comes here because it's sanitary. On the street, he fears getting HIV and other diseases linked to dirty needles.
So what I do is I get a $10 combo, which is 2 Cokes and 1 heroin, and I shoot that up together.
We reported on the raids in Towson, Owings Mills, and nationwide, some going back as far as 2011. Federal agents shut down clinics and alleged pill mills and confiscated records. All part of the opioid crisis crackdown.
You must choose between doing what's right for your patient and doing what keeps you safe. The only safe thing to do is not prescribe any controlled medication until these witch hunts, this inquisition, stops.
The feds deny this is a witch hunt or inquisition.
But we also want to ensure there's a legitimate and uninterrupted supply of legitimate medications for patients throughout our nation.
Patients suffering from chronic pain say they've been swept up in the crisis. They continue trying to find physicians who can effectively treat them. This woman says exercise and acupuncture didn't work. A physician prescribed opioids for her back and joint pain. She was on high doses, but then that clinic was forced to close.
The doctors have been shut down, so you're forced to find another doctor who then gets shut down. It's extremely disheartening to live in constant pain and constant fear for, is this doctor going to be shut down now? Am I going to be going through this long, arduous search again?
Throughout 2024, WBAL TV 11 News was here.
Reporting on the stories impacting you most.
From the moments of celebration.
Touchdown Ravens! To the moments where time stood still.
The Key Bridge has collapsed.
This is something that will definitely go down in history.
And the times we witnessed communities coming together.
We are Maryland tough and we are Baltimore strong.
We were here.
And the National Weather Service has issued a warning.
Tracking severe weather, alerting you first to the storms that left an impact.
Taking you closer to breaking news from an exclusive angle with Baltimore's only news helicopter.
Bringing the world stage
to you.
At the Paris Olympics, I'm Jason Newton.
Guiding you through a presidential election unlike any other.
Donald Trump is elected to become the 47th president.
And helping your family make informed decisions here at home. As the new year unfolds,
We will be right here, providing trusted, relevant reporting on the stories that shape our lives here in Maryland.
We are WBAL TV 11 News.